What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Bittersweet Podcast. It's your girl, Wintana, and I'm here today with a seasoned guest, one of my favorites in the game. It's Noor, the bag daddy. What's up?
What's up? I'm here.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here.
How many times have you been on the podcast?
I think this is actually just the second. But with the third. I've been one solo before, so this is my second solo.
This is your second solo, yeah.
Yeah.
We've just done so many. I feel like we've done things together a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love having you on.
Let me see. I'm actually a fan of the show. Like
Thanks.
I always say this, but it's like I actually listen.
I
pretty
really love
regularly.
that.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah,
I listen to you guys too, so I mean, it'd be kind of interesting if you didn't.
Honestly.
Anyways, let's cheers before we start. How are you? Like, we didn't talk for like
Hour and a half
before
ran
the
out to
actual
go get
episode.
this champagne.
We actually, guys, I have to say it. We actually left the studio to get some drinks because Noor was like, "Where's the hospitality?"
All the other guests are getting drinks. I was like, I want a flute.
You're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and I'm so glad you said it because I can't tell sometimes. Like, some guests are not drinkers. Some
Yeah.
guests like
Yeah, but I think people sometimes
They
think
like-
that with me, where they're like, "Oh, I just thought you didn't drink."
I thought. Well, to be honest, I know you drink, but I'm just like I don't. Sometimes I
don't
can't
know
tell.
when.
You know.
That's crazy.
What do you mean? It's like
Fair enough,
you
fair enough.
I categorize people how they like put themselves out, and I feel
Okay.
like you guys, the church. So I'm like, what's the line? Drinking on a Thursday.
I'll set the bar every time I see it. I'm
Yeah,
like, today's
alright.
drinks, today's not drinks.
All right, sweet. Well, we're drinking today. Usually we do an icebreaker on the show.
Okay.
This one is a bit of a pop culture icebreaker. So I know you've heard the song recently, Glorilla. It's been a
Okay, yeah.
trend.
Yeah.
And the line is, they say shoot or shoot.
Yeah.
And then she says, Duke Dennis, what's up with you?
Okay.
Last time you came on the show,
Okay.
we spoke about shooting your shot.
Yes.
We did.
Yeah.
And we spoke about how there are ways that you can, like, should women shoot their shot, should they not? And I feel like we're stepping in. There's so many things I want to talk about because I feel like we're stepping into an era where I think men are thinking, and this is such a, I hate saying things word for word the way they've been
Yeah.
said online, but I feel like men move like they're the prize. Like there's no thrill in like chasing the woman anymore.
Okay.
There's no, and then now women are kind of like talking about how to shoot your shot. I just feel like this is the kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? This is what's going around at the moment.
Okay. Like it's a flip of the culture.
Yeah. What do you think?
I don't know where I sit on all of this stuff, to be honest, because there's at the same time, like I hear things are like trad wife becoming a thing again. And
Yep.
it's like, so I'm like, I don't know if we're flipping that way into like something we've never done before or flipping back into something. You know what I mean? On one hand, I'm like seeing girls shoot their shot, Glorilla,
Yeah.
whatever, all this kind of stuff, and it becomes a whole thing.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, I'm hearing the opposite where I'm just like, what is the what?
I'm seeing conversations where really independent women talking about, I think in the past they've said, oh, it's all good to go 50-50. Like people like Gabriel Union,
Okay.
I think Coco Jones was someone that used to talk about it. But now more women are talking about the physical, the labor outside of just working and bringing the money in, or the emotional toll women go through. And that it doesn't actually make it 50-50 because of all those things.
That's
so now
fair.
it's like they're kind of shifting. They're like, it doesn't make sense to be 50-50 financially when we're
Yeah.
going through all these things, which I fully
hear
agree
it.
with.
I hear it.
Do you know, even the cycle, like, I can't believe, so there's like 4 stages of a woman's cycle.
Okay.
I can't believe the things that we go through or are feeling emotionally or physically, men don't, you guys are just chilling.
So apparently, I don't know how true this. Oh, I don't know the science behind this stuff, but it's like apparently men's cycle is 24 hours
Yeah, and women's,
and women's is one, which makes sense why men feel all the emotions every day almost, but in very short stints.
is that how it works?
You know, how, like this stereotype, for example, is like women will always be like, my husband always wants to have sex,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, it kind of makes sense if every day
You're
at
always
some
just a
point, there's
repeat
a
like
point
of
where
the
he's
same.
feeling what she would feel in ovulation week. You know what I mean?
Okay,
So
I
it's
get what
like-
you're saying. Where we're going through like it in
now,
stages.
obviously, the woman's cycle is so much more intense over
So much
prolonged
more.
periods of time.
Yeah.
And so I hear it fully when they're like, it's not 50-50 what you're feeling, the labor aspect of things. especially
Once you're becoming
I
a
imagine once you have
parent.
kids, like the involvement of that, it's like, you're both 100% needed to make this, but then it's like, there's 9 months of her just doing her thing.
And once you go post the birth, all
Now-
the things you have to go
yeah.
through, it's just not making sense.
Yeah, I hear it. I think there's an element where, because this is something that I've been like thinking about wrestling with quite a bit recently, where I'm like, I don't know if the Western constructs around the way we do a lot of things in life, where it's like relational based, whether that's romantic or community or whatever, is healthy
Or makes sense.
or makes sense, like any of it. Because I'm
yeah.
like, we all come from places where it's like our dads work and our mums may work, but like the expectation is not on them to carry the burden of
No,
that.
they're like primary caretaker in the home. I feel like it's
Exactly.
very traditional roles for the
Right.
ones who had both parents.
Exactly. And then it's like the way community is set up is that it's like it's supportive of that. For example, like in Iraq, so this will sound crazy, but it actually makes some sense when you think about it. I guess it's hard for the Western mind to get like this makes sense, but it does sort of. Under the laws there, it's like the way property is split up, right, in
Yeah.
the will is like, let's say me and you are siblings, yeah?
Yeah.
In my dad's will, like the government will give half of that to me, a quarter to you, and a quarter to the mom, right?
Really?
Now, it sounds crazy, right? But then if the idea is that the man has to provide, right? You're going to marry a man who's going to get half of what his dad's thing. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
So they're getting
okay, I
a
get what
side-
you're saying,
it's
yeah.
like,
So it's-
in
it's-
our mind, it's like this is not
Is also, let's
equivalent,
say
it's
you're not
whatever.
married, is the son's responsibility to take care of the
That's what I'm
family?
saying. So there's a whole
Okay,
community
yeah.
there, right? So it's like, well, I know the brothers are going to take care of this is ideally, right,
Mm.
or whatnot, and cousins, same kind of thing, or whatnot. It's like, and here's where it's like you have to have these things where it's like everyone. If I get $1, you get $1.
Okay.
Because it's like chances are, like from the average Australian family, it's like there's no community.
Yeah.
There's no one
Yeah,
else
they
that's
don't
going to
have
take
all
care of
the
them.
other things, yeah.
Marriage and people are like, our finances are 100% separate,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like, okay, well,
It's not equal.
Where's the stability
it's not
in
equal.
this?
It's
Yeah.
not. It's not even making sense. I do know a few like Australians or people that were raised like. I guess they've got like maybe an Australian guy and then like someone that's Asian or something
Yeah.
as a woman, and they tend to shift. It's like she's like once I got into a relationship, once we had a kid, it wasn't as 50-50 anymore. And maybe some people see that down the line.
Okay.
Maybe
Yeah.
we're just a bit more. We need to see that in the dating phase.
I hear that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think like in a healthy. Oh, this is all like given the caveat of like healthy relationships. It's like in a healthy relationships, like the 50-50 is always gonna look different. You know what I mean? In that like you like my 50% contribution might be fully financial and taking care of certain things, and her like as in I take care of 100% of the financial. That's my 50% contribution.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then
She might take care of 10% of the financial, and then every other thing, you know what I mean? Like, let's say she hates cooking, so that's part of my 50%. But it's like, for everything else, that's still her 50%
Yeah.
that she's contributing. And so I think in a healthy relationship, I don't think you count in my mind at least, I don't think it's healthy
It's solely to just count
to be
the money.
counting. Yeah, all right. Well, how many dollars did you put on this? How many dollars did I put on this? How many chores did you do? How many chores did I do? Like, I don't think that's a healthy way to go about it.
because I feel like financials is just like one aspect
Yeah.
of the relationship.
Yeah.
I just think that it's the most tangible thing. Like you can see how much someone is, how
Yeah.
much money someone is.
You know
putting
why?
in.
It's also because it's the thing that will allow you to pay for someone else to do all the other things. Like, for example, like if me and my wife are earning $500,000,
Mm-hmm.
right? We can pay for someone to cook. We can pay for someone to clean. We can pay for someone to
True,
drive.
it is
we pay-
true.
You know what I mean? But we can't pay for someone to make us the money.
But can you pay for someone to, let's say, for example, you didn't have your wife,
Yeah.
okay? And you had all the things that you could pay someone to cook, clean, do your laundry, you had your rent all covered this, but the house was empty,
Yep.
you know? And then having that emotional
Yep.
support or someone there for you, a partner, you can't pay,
can't
for,
pay
that.
for that.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
absolutely.
So someone with all the money, you're going to do all these things. Cool, you might get an interior designer to come decorate your space. You might get someone to, but like when...
Okay, but do you think it's enough to just say like, what I brought to, like, let's say I'm this guy that's earning $500K on my own. I can pay for everything that I want to pay for, but also I can't buy love, right?
Yeah.
Is it enough if I meet someone and they're like, my 50% that I bring is like, I make you feel loved?
They could be like a homemaker in
Has
so
to-
many
yeah,
ways.
exactly. Like, there has to be
when
something
when I tell
more,
you,
right?
okay, my mom went. Where did she go recently? She was at. Where did she go? We were all in the house. She went to the UK to visit
Okay,
my sister
yep.
with my younger sister.
Yep.
I was back home, like just visiting my dad and my younger sister.
Yep.
And I slept over for a few nights, and the house feels empty.
Yeah, oh,
like
when
the
your mom's not
feeling is
there?
not. It's not there.
How
From
how is your
everything,
dad
this-
with like home tasks in
He
general?
is.
Can he cook? Can he clean?
He can get by.
Yeah.
He'll clean.
Yeah.
He's more like my mom will do the inside, my dad
Okay.
will do the outside.
Yeah.
He's doing the gardening,
Yeah,
the
okay.
shed, the garage, the out. He's like
okay. Do you like as you as a person,
Yeah.
forget woman for Wintana, yeah? As you get older, do you kind of go like, that's for me? Like that split that you're talking about, like everything inside's my mom, everything outside's my dad. Like you kind of like, yeah, that's for me too.
I feel like I need to be with someone that is able to do it.
Yeah.
Like you can't just be like
Yeah.
you can't
Yeah.
just be like the dishes are not done. You're like, oh,
Nah,
that's
that's
not mine.
wild, yeah.
Or you don't know how to vacuum the house properly.
That's-
You don't know how
yeah.
to. You can't do the basic
yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah.
I feel like there's a difference. Even if I do something and my mom does something, there's something about my mom's touch is
Everything,
different. A
everything.
mother's touch
It's yeah.
elevates. I want her to make my bed for me if I'm there because you do it differently.
But you know what's weird about this is like, it happens. Like it'll happen to you as
It'll
well.
happen.
You'll become that mother because I've watched my sister become that.
But
Right.
also you have to you can only do it if you have the emotional capacity and the
The healthy
physical capacity to do it.
relationship as
I
well
want
and
to
all-
because
yeah.
I'm always in this home. I want to make
Yeah.
it feel special.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do it. If I'm working 30, 34, 35 hours
Yeah.
a week and then I'm coming home, I have to
hard.
cook and this you're getting a meal. You're not getting a full. You're getting food.
Shapes on the plate.
Yeah, you're getting what I can what I
Yeah.
can manage.
It's so
I just
interesting.
there's
Yeah.
value to it.
Yeah. Because like genuinely watching my sister with this has been kind of like mesmerized. My sister's a couple years older than me, 3 years.
Yeah.
And like she got married. She had her first kid. Her second one's due at the end of this month.
Wow.
And I remember like when she was at our home, like the family home, like this chick would not cook for nothing, like clean whatever, but like as in not like clean begrudgingly, like everything begrudgingly.
Yeah.
First time we go to their house after they get married, and she cooks for us, and like when I tell you, all of us just look at each other and we're like,
Where was this?
because we were just cracking. Like normally, my mom would always say like, Noor's the one that knows how to cook.
Okay.
Like, cause I enjoy it, all this kind of stuff. And we look at, like, me and my dad look at each other and we're like, yo, like, this is actually fire. Like, this is good food. It's to the point now where, like, every time we go over, like, my dad's like, he's just not saying it, but he's like, I prefer your cooking over my wife.
No
I'm not
way.
even kidding.
That's crazy.
Like,
That's
I know,
crazy.
you just can't say it. But it's like the way this guy sits there enjoying the food and smiling.
I feel like there's
and-
something about if a woman is safe. Anyway, this is me.
Yeah.
If I feel safe in a relationship, if I feel
Everything
like
comes
happy,
out.
I want to cook for you.
But I think
it's
the
not
male
even-
version of that is the same. Like if a man feels safe in a relationship, all this kind of stuff, they're like, I want to provide for you. Like, there's never a burden. When you say like, oh, 150 to get my nails done, it's like 300.
Thank you.
You know what I-
It's
like,
like,
but
yeah, I
that's
know
'cause
what you're
it's like,
saying.
this
You
is
want
fun.
to take care
Like,
of your
yeah.
wife. Yeah. And I get that. I feel like a woman, like, I don't know. I also feel like women know that. Like, you
Yeah.
know, if for me, I don't even see it anymore as, I don't know, like, oh, I feel awkward if he gives me this or I feel this. It's almost like if you want me
Yeah.
and you enjoy my company and you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you want to see us grow together. I almost feel like you should want to do those things for me.
Yeah, I think you just see it as like, because it's like everything I do for my. This is again, I kind of put this like this is a wife and husband conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or like
Like,
even
leading
like
up
you're
to it,
about to get
yeah.
married type of thing. Yeah.
But it's like everything I do that looks like is for you is actually for me. And it's not about
Yeah.
being selfish. And everything you do that's
Yeah.
for you, but that's for me, sorry, is actually for you as
Yeah,
well.
because you take joy, you take pride in doing
That's
stuff
what
for
I'm
your
saying.
man,
It's
and
like,
vice versa.
yo, like I don't even want to do the corny stuff. Like she looks pretty because it's for me or whatever. It's just like,
Yeah.
no, like even she loves these kids well because, and she raises them well and with manners and whatnot because she knows like
They're our kids, they're mine,
our
yeah, they're
kids,
my
they're
kids,
they're her
yeah.
kids. But it's
But
like,
that comes down to respecting your
Yeah.
man. You respect them. You want to,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
yeah. It's weird. Like I'm in this weird place recently. Like I feel like a lot of conversations, especially it's probably a stereotype with like podcasts and stuff, because it's fun conversation to talk about men, women, this, that.
Yeah.
But it's like so many things where I'm just like, yo, like we just do it too much. The men conversation, the women conversation, the whatever. And I'm just like, yo, like good men love good women, and good women love good men.
Thank you.
And it's like this. It's actually fun when you partner properly, when you are making wiser decisions, when you're thinking about the future, when you're all this kind of stuff. And it's like, I don't know. Like when I look at it, I'm just like, like all those Red Bull guys and
Yeah.
whatnot. And I'm just like like you're actually hurt to be looking at
Or
all
I just-
women this way,
yeah.
or the chicks as well that look at the guys this way, and I'm just like,
Do you feel like sometimes it's clickbait though? I just
it
feel like
has to
people, but also I'm just getting sick of it. Like I want to see more constructive conversations about relationships because I feel like more people are single these days. There are a lot of people walking around
Yeah.
single. I think the casual dating culture has messed up relationships, and a lot of people
it's so
are just
unhealthy.
It's
I don't
so,
think we talk about like,
and here's
and I don't think we know the ramifications of it just yet. But it's like
no, I think we're seeing the
We're seeing
ramifications
it
because
now,
for a long
finally,
time
yeah.
it was like
it's just
we
fun.
should accept casual dating. Like it's good
Tinder,
for people to
Hinge,
have
whatever,
this and this.
yeah.
Like, but now I'm like, no, people are. It's like what we were talking about off camera. Like people are starting to become wired to seek toxicity. I feel like men are just kind of bringing back to the whole prize thing.
Yeah.
Men know that. I feel like if a man is successful, he has money, he he's relatively like intelligent, but maybe even just like, just regular.
Decently attractive.
Yeah, attractive, all those things. It's like they lose the ability to be like chivalrous and to actually court a woman.
Can I be honest?
They
Like
just know women want them. They know that they're the ideal man, and there probably aren't a lot of them floating around. So it's this whole like, I've got options, she could chase me.
I think in a way, like those guys, like if you're a guy that's those, ticks those boxes that you've just said, and you don't have your, I want to say ego in check, but your values in check.
Values, yeah.
Realistically, I mean, like, this is not even to get like, super liberal or whatever, but it's like the world is set up for men to succeed more than women, right? And so it's like, if you're a guy that ticks all those boxes, and you don't have your morals in check, it's like, what are you going to lose out on if you just treat this one badly and this one badly and this one badly? Like nothing, right? Like technically, until you hit that point where you're like, yo, I've treated every girl badly and it's going to start coming back around.
Or not. It could just be like, this is something they do.
But it's like internally it starts coming back around.
Yeah,
Like you start
yeah,
feeling
yeah.
lonely as you get older. You start feeling empty because it's like, how much sex can you have with different people? Like, as in, like you can have as much, but it's like it stops feeling different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can mess around and like ruin people's days and relationships and this and,
And you
that
can
and
feel
whatnot.
that, yeah.
And it's like eventually
you're a
you're gonna
decent
feel
person,
all,
yeah.
you know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. It's that prize conversation. I think it's sad that like guys, to an extent, it's sad that guys are out here going like, it's important to know your self-worth, right? Like, yeah, like if you're, young, handsome, rich, all this kind of stuff. I was like, know that, this is what I actually bring.
This is what I can bring, yeah.
But it's like, don't laud that,
yeah.
and then go like, because of that, then I don't have to put in any effort. Like, that's stupid.
It's just hard. And I guess like there's a difference. Okay, you can have a fun time, but now is this just your character? Is this just your personality?
Yeah.
But also, I just think you need to I just think regardless if you're having fun or not, the chase is half the fun of anything. So
facts.
why are you expecting the women to chase you? I think it's strange. I don't agree with
I think
it.
if it's strictly for fun, I think the chase is fun on both ends, isn't it?
The chase is only fun for the girl
Like,
if the guy is chasing
you don't think like
if you're
Glorilla's
giving
having
me
the funnest time right now that she's throwing out this Duke Dennis thing?
100%. I mean, even
was worth it for
like
her.
if I'm chasing someone, right? This is what I've come to. The chase is fun, even if we're both not serious. The chase stage is fun, but only if you're like pursuing me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna go. I don't think I'm gonna go full. I'm not gonna go all the way in.
Yeah.
And like be as risky and say things if you're not chasing me.
I hear it.
Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
If I don't see that I'm getting this is crazy to me. And I feel like they're not doing that. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the whole shoot, right?
Yeah.
What do you think? Last time we spoke about different ways that they can do it. What do you think are some should women be safe when they're shooting? When I say safe, it's like, can you do it in a way that's like, I'm dropping hints, but it's very obvious that I'm shooting?
I think because guys are not used traditionally being shot at,
Yeah.
they're always gonna get gassed by it.
Okay,
So like women could do very little.
so liking a story.
Gassed.
Sending a message sending a message saying
3 Ys on the hay? Gassed.
so just a hey.
Hey.
Just a hey. Okay, what about
It's
sending? So if you're gonna send, okay, no girl's gonna send hey. So
Yeah.
what about if someone was to send a message like, oh, hey, like I thought of you.
Yeah.
Hey, I saw this,
Thought
I
of
thought of
me?
you.
Oh
Or like,
my
hey,
days.
this reminded me of our conversation. Is that
She's thinking about our conversation. Like, this is beautiful.
rate these.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I
So-
should have told you.
yeah, okay, yeah,
Rate
yeah.
the liking.
All right. So liking the story is that one's always tough because like I feel like if it's a guy liking a girl story, it's always something.
Okay.
Right? Like unless it's just like about work or like specifically the dynamic you might have. But if it's a photo of you and the person's liked it, you know what that is.
Okay, so if it's a photo of something else, that's
Yeah,
not okay.
whatever. But it's like on the flip side, when a girl, like the way a guy perceives it, it's like if I put a photo of me playing football with the boys, right, and a girl likes it, I'm like, she's invested in my life.
1,000 for me anyway. I mean, it's
'Cause
not
it's like
true.
you're not throwing
I'm
them
not.
randomly.
Yeah, like honestly, even if you were to show me a sunset,
That's what I'm saying.
if I liked it,
That's what I'm
yes,
saying.
I'm
That's
saying
what I'm saying.
something.
Baby, I want to
to
be
you.
at the sunset with you.
You know,
That's what it's.
but
How
do you
the
think
guys,
a lot of men
that's
perceive it
how
that way?
I'm telling you, that's how all men perceive it. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
So sending a text message that says,
You know how serious text messages as well.
okay,
Text message of something. I saw this and I'm thinking of you.
yeah,
Like, not I'm thinking of you. Like, as in,
or like, oh my god, this reminded
oh
me.
my
of,
gosh, I'm drinking this drink and I remembered the time that we had this in, this bar.
Yeah. Or this, like, let's say you, obviously not you, but
Yeah.
you, like, oh my God, Noor, I saw this, reminded me of a conversation you had on the podcast.
Like, you don't even realize like what you've just done. Like, what have you done? Like, I think that might be the highest one, especially for me, specifically me. Like, I'm like that thing of like remembering things. You know what I mean? Or like, as in, that is probably one of my biggest love languages as well. So it's like that
Okay.
makes me go like, okay,
This
you
is intentional.
You care exactly the intention to go like, I
Okay.
remember this moment, I remember this whatever, and I want to talk about it now as well.
Ladies, this is
12 out of 10.
we're getting
Yeah.
free game.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, for me,
There's
for me.
levels to that for me. I feel like sometimes text message requires too much brain power. For me anyway,
Yeah.
if I'm shooting and I send you a text, you think I'm just sending it like, let me just casually, I'm
Yeah.
thinking about
Yeah.
how am I gonna send a message.
Okay.
Me and my girls are on the phone thinking about that message.
Whole group chats, putting
Go,
their brain
just-
cells
no,
together.
get rid of the one. Hey, don't do the emoji. Exclamation mark needs to go.
He's gonna read into
And, like
too much.
everything. Do men think about that?
Yes, but on our own.
Okay.
And then we let the guys know how it went.
Now, are you guys thinking about if a girl was to send a message and put an exclamation mark at the hey? Are you thinking?
Yeah,
like,
I'm reading. I'm
you
reading
reading
into
into
how
that?
excited you are. I'm reading into whatever. I'm reading into if I ask a question and you answer and then ask a question back. I'm reading into that as opposed to if you just answer
Yeah.
and nothing else. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know the conversation can keep
Yeah,
pinballing, you know.
yeah.
So, I would say I read into that when it comes to texting for sure.
So out of the
I'll say
three
guys in
you've ranked the text message top tier.
That one's sensational. Like, or even just if I run into them and they go like, "Oh my gosh, like I did this and I thought about this," I'm like, incredible,
You love me.
incredible. Like, marriage. How do you feel about children?
Me, sometimes my delusions are too crazy. I
Yeah.
realized recently how delusional I can
do
be.
you plan the whole life out with the person?
That's done. Like I've already thought about I'm already thinking about when we link up, like, what am I gonna wear? I'm on Pinterest, like
Yeah.
looking at
Yeah.
photo, like ideas, but not even that part. That's one thing. But I will read into something. I'm like, oh,
Oh, he hates me.
he's not interested, and then I'll be like, oh wait, I didn't realize that he liked this story. Oh, we're back on. Like, you know what I
He's
mean?
back.
I was like, oh my god, he's so interested.
I'm
And then my friends are-
irresistible.
like I'm thinking, oh my god, I actually lost my mind for a second. Like, what do you mean he didn't like you, babes? So okay, that's interesting. We said text message top tier.
That's
Second, we have the liking the story.
The thing I like about the story likes, man, shout out to Zuckerberg or whoever put in that feature, but it's like, it's a very safe space for women
It's
to
too
let you-
safe, though.
but it's a nice, because I've always had this thing where I'm like, men should make the real shot, but it's like, hey, give me a little something that I can dunk.
So if he
you know?
doesn't, if you give him a layout, yeah, you do a little
Yeah,
something, and
yeah.
he doesn't respond, he's not interested in you.
I
Is
would
that how you would say so?
I would say so.
Interesting.
Caveat depends guy to guy. I guess some guys like might feel like, I don't want to.
Because sometimes I feel like I've heard a lot of people say, you need to shoot in a way, and you've kind of proved this point where it's intentional. Like I am interested in you. So you've ranked from all of them. You've ranked the text message,
Yeah.
which was specific to you as top.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So liking a story, they could just be like, this is just this is bare minimum.
Yeah.
Which this brings me back to you thinking you're the prize. Just stop acting like you're the prize. I've already given you something.
Yeah. It's.
But I'm trying to be like the formula. I feel like the formula, if you're going to shoot, this is what I've come to. If you're going to shoot, just go all out.
Yeah.
And shoot.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I would say like,
if you're already putting yourself
especially
out
with
there.
the internet era though, like just think 2 times because you might get screenshotted, whether you're a man or a woman.
That's why I understand why people call.
I hear it.
Call because you can't do, you don't even know why I called. That's best case scenario. But in general, I think that you need to, if you're going to shoot, be intentional.
Yeah.
If you're going to put yourself out there.
Like make it clear like, yo, like, or at least not like okay, I don't believe in messaging and never getting a response and just keep messaging to make it clear. That's wild. Whether you're a man or a woman, like insane.
Women, I don't think women do that though.
Very, very rarely.
Yeah.
And props to you guys because it's horrible.
Yeah.
I cannot believe the guys that do that. Like just constantly replying to story, replying to story,
and
replying to story.
Sometimes it lasts years.
Yeah,
sometimes
it's wild.
it lasts years.
It's
They'll be
very wild.
checking in.
Yeah.
It wasn't different. It's not. There's no different. Like last year, this year, it's the same response.
Yeah, it's just like I feel like, and every time you hit the send, like you go further down the no. You know,
Yeah.
It's like
Now I want to block
was
you.
like,
Now I'm going to block
yeah,
you. This is harassment.
literally, like now. So I don't know about that, but it's like if you message and get a reply, I'm talking here from the woman's perspective. It's like if you message and you get a reply, and then message again and get a reply again and message again. Like at a certain point, he should get the hint. Like, yo, this girl keeps messaging me.
Yeah.
I feel like he will.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like it's not a direct shot and like a yo, I want to go out with you kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's like yo, the door is open.
The door. Just
walk.
And that's what I'm saying. If they
And you
don't
would hope he
walk,
takes-
if they don't walk, then I think for me that's a response.
I think as a woman you should never make the man walk. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But open the door.
Yeah. You can open the door.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying.
That's it.
There has to be subtle ways that you can open the door.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know, I think sending the message, sending the message is like, maybe sending a message is probably the nicest one that you could do.
Holy.
Or in person, it's nice. You could
In
smile.
person, nothing beats in person.
What's the best way to shoot a shot in person?
If you're a woman, just honestly show him some attention. That's it. Men incredibly simple when it comes to this.
Okay.
And then let him do all the other shooting of
Yeah.
like compliments of this, of
Yeah.
buying the drink, of paying for whatever,
Yeah.
or of getting your number. You know what I mean? All that kind of
You
stuff.
just need to open it
I
up.
I don't think the woman needs to be doing all that. Yo, what's your number? Blah blah. One,
Yeah.
That's just like why don't you want her number?
Now it's like he doesn't want you. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right, guys. That was the icebreaker anyway.
Yeah,
that was
fun.
a little pop culture
Yeah,
moment. Okay, so I wanted to move on. The next
Side note,
Yeah.
quickly on this. What part of that lyric do you feel like Duke Dennis is focused on now?
what do you
Because what did you say?
Duke Dennis, what's
Like
up with
my
you?
guys, tall and
and a little bit of ugly.
no, it's tall
Like
and
my
something.
tall and brown.
Tall and brown,
Yeah.
mixed with a little bit of
Ugly,
ugly.
yeah.
What part of that whole thing do you feel like he is the most?
Wait, we can add this to the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I feel. You think he's thinking ugly? Like, oh, she
I
thinks
feel
I'm
like
ugly?
you're naturally just gonna hear that. Like he's not gonna hear tall. He's not gonna hear brown. Well, I mean, he knows.
And
it's
then
not
mixed with a
like-
little. No, because I feel like the way he would. Because I get that. I've said this on the podcast
Yeah,
before.
a
I like
lot of
a
girls say
a
this,
medium
yeah,
ugly.
yeah.
And there's reason to it.
Is it because you don't want more girls going like, damn?
No, I think men that are like conventionally beautiful men, it's like proven that they are just a lot more
Narcissist
like
or-
cocky. Mostly the really good looking men are the ones that think they're the prize. The ones that are medium ugly, it's like you're not ugly. Like you're a good looking person.
Like you look
You're just
manly.
not conventionally attractive to everybody. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? I think there's like a
That's a conversation for you.
I think so. I would still even put them in the pretty type because you're not ugly,
Fair.
but you're just not all. I know every girl is not going to be like, that's the guy that I want.
Okay.
It's your
Yeah, yeah,
personality
yeah,
that now
yeah.
brings you all the
Boosts
way
you
up.
up.
But
Fair.
you're still attractive.
Yeah.
So that type of guy, he's humble. He's a bit more humble, grounded. You know what I mean? He knows like it's not just options everywhere. Yeah.
Fair.
And I get it. So like my tall and brown. And then she said, I feel like he's not focusing on that
Yeah.
because he must know. Plus, he's got it like that.
He's got it. Like
If you
that.
got it like, I think the men that know
he's
when
doing
a man.
he's successful, he's whatever.
you know
Girls
what I
love
mean?
him. Like he's got it.
Do you think men that have it like that know they have it like that?
Yeah, just like women do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
Women that have it, know they have
No,
it.
they have it. Yeah.
Like, there's certain people that, like, they say this about Rihanna. They say, like, she's one of those people where, like, she walks in the room and, like, without saying anything, like, somehow everyone just turns and looks.
Do you think it's because it's Rihanna, or do you think
some
it's
sort
because
of aura that she's got? I can't explain.
And I believe that.
Yeah,
I believe
I
that
hear
she
it.
just got an energy to her.
They
probably.
say that Prince was the same. Now, I don't know if girls are, like, obsessed with Prince now, but I feel like back in the day, girls were obsessed with Prince. You know what I mean?
Possibly.
And
I feel
another one of those people that just, they walk in the room, everyone's just like, what's up?
Yeah, but that has to do with your self confidence.
Yeah.
I feel like if you are just unshakable, you could bring your pretty privilege will take you a certain to a certain point, and then boom.
Yeah.
And I feel like Rihanna, because I think Rihanna's stunning, gorgeous.
And then on top of that, yeah, like you mix likable.
Yeah.
It's like
You need to be. She's also a relatable person. I feel like she's
lovely
like
person.
yeah.
Yeah.
From what I've seen anyway.
Definitely.
So I think that's true.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's move on to the next topic. The next one I want to talk to you about was Noor, you and I always have this conversation.
Best friends. People don't
Always.
know. I think
We're actually
we
friends.
might be best friends.
Do you know what? It's because we don't live on the same side of the
Yeah.
city. He lives all the way in the southeast.
If we did, we'd actually
I feel like
hang
we'd be
out quite
really
a bit.
close. Yeah, a lot closer.
Yeah.
But do you think that you cannot be successful or you cannot reach a certain level of success if you stay in the city that you are from? So we can speak about it generally, or we can speak about it. We can speak about it like obviously Australia adds another layer to the conversation.
I would say
I'm gonna pour up.
Yeah, go for it and top me up too. I would say hey man, it is what it is. Outside of New York, that is probably a true statement for. You're talking about like success in your career space.
In your career space.
Okay.
And I guess like being in the media space, entertainment space adds another layer to
Specifically,
it. Because I've watched people that I know, like successful like podcasters, and they've also had this conversation and they left their hometown. I think there's something about being in a different city that like one, you're not attached to, I guess, the expectations a lot of people have around you. You don't have the ties of like, oh, families here, this. You're really focused on what you're doing, and you're here for a purpose. So when you're solely driven and like that's your purpose, being in Melbourne, I'm like, I have my purpose. This is what I'm doing, but I've also got so many other things around me that like make up my life and take up my time.
Yeah, which this is where the whole thing gets hard, because it's like, is my better life away from family and this just so I can pursue creative success and all that? Maybe not holistically, but it's like in terms of if we're just looking at that aspect of like, creative streams and avenues and all that kind of stuff, it's like the answer is yes. Outside of New York City, if you live in New York, there's no city that you can move to that's better than New York for that thing. Like I don't know what it is. That place it's not beautiful, but it's amazing. It's the most amazing place in the world. Like something about it.
In what sense?
Like,
what about
gasses me? Like, okay, like I remember I get there. This is 2023, and it's June 2023, and I go to New York for 4. My family's in Canada, Toronto, and so I'm visiting with my parents to see like cousins and stuff. And my parents can't get into America because they're born in Iraq, right?
Crazy.
Right? Stupid thing.
Yeah.
But even though we lived in America. So it's like this. Anyway.
How? Oh, now they can't.
Now
after
they
change
can,
it,
but they still have their social security number. Regardless, whatever. I can because I was born in Auckland, New Zealand, right?
Is that now? Is that still the same now?
They get put on like a 300-day waiting list. So
Crazy.
Go figure, right? Yeah. So I'm like, I'm just gonna duck down to New York for a couple of days on my ones and enjoy that kind of thing. First day there, I'm like, what do you have for lunch? Well, I'm gonna get pizza, right? So I'm just like standing, waiting in the line and whatnot. And it's like when you realize when you're not raised there, you don't know how to operate in the concrete jungle that it is.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm just waiting, and this, no joke, like 8-year-old kid just jumps in. Yo, boss, 2 pepperoni slices with a Fanta.
Yeah.
I got my money.
Quick.
And it's like, bro, imagine you just grow up in a city that births that out of you,
energy.
right? I'm walking down the street. To this day, I have no idea what I did wrong. But some guy jumps out the post truck. And like, I must have walked in front of his car while he was reversing or something. And he just like cusses me out, whatnot. I just kept pushing, but I was like, this is a different place to grow up.
Do you know what? Though, in a way, it reminds me of like when I go to Ethiopia. It is.
Okay.
It's like I feel like her interactions are very like
fast and
organic and
strong
boom,
and-
boom, boom,
yeah,
boom,
yeah,
boom,
yeah.
and also very much here. I
They're
feel like there's
selling
almost like
tomatoes and yeah.
it's very like there's like a way to act.
Yeah.
You know when you go
Yeah.
into your family's home,
Yeah.
you're just kind of like, hey, you're
Yeah.
just talking, you're free, whatever. When you're out, there's like a decorum. There's a certain level.
I hear it.
In Ethiopia, right? It's like, brother, like I need you to take me here. It's gonna take you time.
Yeah.
It's gonna take a little bit of time. And here it's like we've got this common sense. I don't wanna cut into their hours. I don't want to do this. They're like, please, just do it.
Yeah.
It's just very
I hear that.
genuine
I
in a
think
way.
Maybe it's this element of like, because we don't have street lifestyle. And what I mean by that
We
isn't like crime
don't.
or anything. It's like, as in like people selling things on the street and people selling food on the street and interactions happening. Like that produces something very, like,
It's
you know
almost
how,
like
like,
there's
people-
there's
like,
a sense of community outside, and
it-
that
but there's
community
like
makes
charmingness that has to
Yeah,
happen so
yeah.
that you can sell better.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, I'm sure when you're like in when you're in Ethiopia or whatever, it's like the guys trying to sell you something on the street, they speak to you in a charming way. You know what I mean? It's like they're not flirting, they're just trying to sell.
They're just trying to sell.
You know?
But they're gonna make conversation.
that
They're
teaches the
going
people
to.
how to respond, and the kids now talk that way when they're
It's
selling
people skills.
vegetables and
Yeah.
whatever. The people skills are different. And so I think that's like when it comes to content now, America being America and what it is, and New York being New York, like New York is just that place. Like it
Yeah.
really is just that place. Like I was there and I was like, honestly, if we were all there, like we would thrive differently.
Yeah.
We might also get ate up by
Yeah,
the city.
we might.
Because it's
Th-
like we
that's
don't
the-
know how to act this way.
Yeah, there's
But
two
you figure
sides
it
to
out
it.
eventually.
But I also feel like there's an openness to connect. There's also like, I think America is just bigger. So naturally, business-wise, it's like there are opportunities
more avenues,
everywhere,
yeah.
you know? And Americans just think differently. Like it's
They do.
just a beast
Everything's
compared to here.
commercialized. Yeah.
But even in the UK, like when I was there, I mean,
Yeah.
Bittersweet started when I was living in London, you know? And that already speaks volumes to itself. Like when
Yeah.
I was there, I was able to just kind of step out of like this little, I guess, this box that I feel like everybody
Yeah.
thought, like people think of me a certain way, there's expectations. I was so free.
Yeah.
Everything was like from scratch.
That helps so much to just feel like I can fail safely.
Yep. And the friends that you make are not friends that you just carried on from like different parts of your life.
So it's
These
all
are
like from where my mind is at now.
Yeah, and they're gonna support you. They're gonna get it, and you're like. I really believe that when you're in an environment that nurtures the way you think, your mindset, you just grow. Like it's like when you always are grateful about things,
Yeah.
you tend to end up like just thinking
Yeah.
positively.
It's weird. I feel like it's double edged because it's like let's say you're just like we moved to London and we're just focused on content and podcasts, right? Mm-hmm. Our mind is gonna be like so laser focused on that it's like, yes, the friends I make are where I'm at now, but it's like where I'm at now is just thinking about the success of this content, right? So I might end up making friends with people that hikey I don't like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
And it's like because I'm not careful about those things. Whereas this is where home is beneficial. It's like when I'm making a friend, even in this content space, like to be fair, like I feel like we get along with everybody pretty well, but there are people where I'm like, I don't necessarily know if I want to work with you. I don't know. You know what I mean? Whatever. And they might feel the same way about us. Like that's perfectly fine. But it's like when I'm doing that, it's like I'm keeping in mind like how would my community feel about me hanging out with this person? How would my whatever feel about this? How would
True.
and it's like there's an element of safety, but I feel like then on the flip side, that safety holds you back from this.
I think
success that we're
it
trying
comes
achieve.
down
It's
to
so
like
hard.
what you want at
It's
the end
so
of the
hard,
day.
yeah.
Because I don't think you leaving to pursue something that is a passion or a dream.
Yeah.
It might take years away from like nurturing your
Yeah.
relationships at home, but I feel like you can always come back.
Yeah.
And you can maybe be like, this part of my life is going to look like this.
Yeah.
And then at some point because even when you think about our careers, we're building towards something that we want to build.
Yeah.
This doesn't necessarily mean at 40 we're going
I
to
need
be
to be
doing
doing
this.
this, yeah.
We might be at a different stage. We might pick up a whole different career and be doing something else.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
Yeah, we honestly don't.
You
the
don't
creative
know.
space is the one that it's like, it's so hard to know what... Like nurses right now, almost certainly, the majority know that like at 45, I'm going to be a nurse still.
But some are also,
Some
you know how
might
many people,
switch up.
yeah,
Yeah.
some might. And I feel like people have different, like, they have transitions in
Yeah.
their lives. And I
Yeah.
think, like, sometimes we feel like life is so, like, rigid and we have to live it in this way.
Yeah.
But I feel like in the last 3 years, I've started to see life as kind of like phases.
Yeah.
And I'm like, maybe this is my 20s to like mid to late 30s, and then it changes
Yeah.
again, you know? And I think your relationships and maybe like being a mother and this will influence that.
That being said, like now I'm just thinking about this on the spot. Like I don't want to discount the art and the medium of podcasting because it's like I think I'm a massive hip hop head, and it's like the way rappers came on the scene. It's like in your 20s, teens, 20s, whatever, and it's like you're not rapping at 45. But then guys like Jay-Z, if they drop an album now at 50 something, they change that perspective where it's like at 55, I'm still gonna listen. Like when he's 55, I'm still gonna listen to him rap.
Yeah.
I want to hear what he says.
Yeah.
And I think podcasting might become that as well, right? Where it's like, if we build enough people and all this kind of stuff, it's like it might be a thing that we're doing at 45.
It might,
You know
but
what I mean?
also it could look very different.
It could
look like I took a chunk of I took years off.
Yeah.
Now I've come back
And I have
I'm doing
something
it different
to share.
because
Yeah.
I feel like that sometimes I feel like I love this so much.
Yeah.
I love having conversations, but I also feel like I'm changing as a person. That those feelings of like my love for things can dip in and out because I'm transitioning. But then when I come back to like the root of it, I love having conversations with people. I love connecting with people. Maybe for a bit of time it looks different. Maybe I come back and like I have more perspective or insight. Like you just never know. And so I just think like I could take time off and live somewhere else and build it and like become successful, come back here and have
I think for you it's a lot more feasible
Why?
because you're on your ones now doing this.
Yep.
Right?
Solo.
Mostly. Obviously you've got your team that
yeah,
supports you,
the
shout out
team,
to them and whatnot.
Love them.
They're all behind the cameras right now.
Love you guys. You're actually too funny, Noor.
But for me, it's like there's a married couple. There's,
But who's to say that? Who's to say that disruption will continue
Yeah,
and Noor has his own show? You don't know that. That's what
the
I'm
side
saying.
of
Like
things where this is
because
possible,
you're so invested in
Yeah.
it, that it could look like something else. You know what I mean? There's so many people that have like side things to what they're already doing.
Oh, and that's like the plan for us.
Yeah.
Everyone has to start doing their own thing soon, as well as like building up the actual persona.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this shit's not sustainable.
It's
This shit is not
guys, you
sustainable.
need to
Like this lot that you're talking about. Like I love podcasting. That's the only thing keeping me going and keeping all of us going, keeping you
the
going.
tank is
I
empty.
know the same for Tom Trophy is the only thing keeping them going.
The tank is empty.
Because it's hard to grow here, and I think the hardest thing is because we don't serve a niche that is strongly represented in Australia.
Yes.
Right?
There's actually not enough like of a market value.
share.
Yeah.
That it's like this is sustainable and all this kind of stuff. And I think that is where it gets really hard. I think we look at a lot of our UK counterparts, and because we look at it and we're like, when you think of moving, where do you think? You think London.
London or New York.
Right. And then all of London goes, we need to go to New York.
Yeah.
Right? But it's like for us, we're like, I'm happy with London.
Yeah.
I'm happy with friggin' Barcelona probably.
Do you think that as an Australian moving to another country like the UK or America, we actually have like there's success that could be there just because we're in a different culture? Like, is that going to resonate?
Gonna be received well?
Yeah, is that going to resonate?
I think there's an element of curiosity that will pique some attention at the start, and then we have to capitalize off that accordingly. So this actually, I'm sure you've seen it. The woman. I just don't want to use girl or chick because I feel like that's very young.
Yeah.
But like woman, but she's around our age, that has moved from London to here and does TikTok content.
I think so. I know
She's done a couple
yeah.
things and whatnot. And there's this element of like, right, even from like, she's a black woman that's moved from London to here, but I'll look at what she's posting because I'm like, oh, I'm kind of curious about like, how do you perceive my city?
Yeah.
You know?
But how into it, how invested am I?
But now you like, not talking about her specifically, now it's like the flip side. If we go there, it's like, I'm sure London would be like, yeah, what do these Aussie kids have to say about our city? But then after a while, it's like, okay, now you need to integrate the content to be exciting for us. You know, it's like, how many times can I hear, oh, Knightsbridge is so exciting to look at, or whatever.
Or like the comparison between the. But then there are some like TikTokers that are British that moved here, and they're quite successul. Like
Black,
people,
white.
black, yeah,
like all in techers.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah. You have to give this whole thing. Can we give this? But yeah, like for him, he's a good example of where like I think the market, because that's a market that we look up to. So we're getting someone from the market that we look up to come here, right? And we kind of go, well, give him every opportunity. Because it's like, that's the cool market. So he has to be cool, right? This is, again, I'm not saying he is, he isn't, or whatever.
Yeah, you're just saying
but
like,
because he comes from the cool market, so we're going to assume he's cool. We're going to give him all the opportunities here, which is like, man, props to him.
Yeah.
Run with it, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like he's
absolutely.
clearly found his lane.
Yeah.
But it's like, that I don't think will happen for us because we're not the cool market when we go there.
That's interesting.
So it's like we're received as the, okay, put it this way. I feel like you would have, girls are like this in high school too. You know, like year 9, a new girl, like for me, it's like a new girl comes to school and she's hot and you've heard about it from the other schools or whatever.
Yeah.
Everyone's gassed. Yeah. Versus a new girl comes and she's just regular and whatever, and you're just like, it's a new girl. Like, she could be nice, she could be not.
But
Whatever.
I feel like Australians, if you move to like, I feel like maybe the UK, they kind of used to us by now.
Yeah.
It's nothing fresh.
Yeah.
In America, also America have this more of a culture of let's network, let's
Yeah.
talk. I want to talk about
Yeah.
myself and what I'm doing
Yeah.
and da-da-da. They love that. So I think that if you were to move there, it could go two ways.
Yeah.
You will drown because
Yeah.
it's just heavily saturated. You're another podcaster,
Yeah.
you're another entertainer, you're another this. But if you come and you've got some value to you, you've done like people know your content is actually great because there's a
Yeah.
difference. You
Yeah.
can have like your content's all right, and then your content can be, this is actually good, you just need eyes, you need reach.
Yeah.
And if you come there and your perspective is I'm the Aussie chick or I'm the Aussie group, the guy, whatever, and I make good content, you could be really successful.
I think it all comes down to packaging and funny enough, not to spill too much, but it's like there's kind of stuff that I'm trying to work on with the disruption now. Where it's like just the way we package certain things, and it's like that way of you selling yourself. Like forget even to the people first. I think this is where US UK is so different. Is that like if you can package well, people can believe in you.
Absolutely.
Right? And so if people can believe in you, they're willing to put resources behind you and all that kind of stuff. And that brings enough eyes to you that now the people see you. So for example, like when I look at it, I'm like, Charlemagne's Black Effect podcast network. Like this guy basically just finds any and everyone that he rocks with and goes, he'll grab anyone that he believes is a quality persona.
Yeah.
Put the resources behind him to be on his network and all this kind of stuff and whatever. I don't know what the practicals look like of that, but then it's like after a while, I realized all of them end up taking up crazy. Now, obviously, they've done some work to generate his interest, but it's like then it's like you look at who's on it. It's like Poor Minds is on it.
Poor Minds is on it.
Poor Minds is on.
Aren't they
Black
with
Effect,
85 South?
Or maybe they've switched over now. I don't know.
I feel like
remember
they've been
him
on
pushing-
85 South for years.
Maybe.
But
Okay,
Horrible
well,
Decisions is on.
85 South is another example, right? So you've got Black Effect, you've got 85 South, there's other ones, God bless the dead, what's his name? Far out. This is Combat Jack used to have a network as well, and that was like honestly more than a decade ago now. And it's like that one had like a lot of, I don't know if you remember. Goodness, it's crazy how like when someone goes to jail, you just start forgetting everything about them. He had some guy on Taxstone. Do you remember Taxstone?
No.
Okay, so Taxstone had probably the most viral hip hop related and pop culture related podcast, and then he ended up going
went
to
to
jail
jail.
whatnot, and it's like, and that just died down. But it's like there's all these different platforms that are able to put something behind you, right? So it's like the niche that we're talking about, right? Whether it's hip hop, whether it's black culture, whether it's what's it called, like BIPOC culture and all this kind of stuff. It's like those niches have machines still in those places.
Yeah.
Here, there's no machine.
There's no machine.
There's only a machine for a cookie cutter thing, right?
And we don't fit into whether we want to or
Right.
not,
Yeah.
regardless if you're creating content, regardless of the quality of the content, it's just not fitting into the ideal content here.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's actually like you need to move.
So there's no market, and therefore there's no machine. And so it's like, what am I trying to...
What are you trying to do?
So essentially, like when you really think about it, the disruption, Bittersweet, Talking Trophies, like we're actually creating the machine as well as the content.
Like a lot of manpower.
And I'm exhausted out.
I'm so tired. I'm so tired. And it's tiring. And I think that's just like, that's a conversation we're always going to have. And I don't know if that's going to change or what that is going to look like. I think the more we grow, obviously, I also think like the growth, there's just, I don't know. It's actually just, I think it's just difficult in Australia.
Yeah.
I also spoke to someone who was like in that brand partnership space, and they were just like even for them as an actual brand, like a established brand, they're huge.
Yeah.
They were like, there's no the Australian market for them was even difficult. They like to bring people from overseas and appeal to the international audience, but like let's say the international like office or whatever of that company, they're like, we want to see more localized content. But then the problem is the local people in Australia don't purchase.
Yeah.
They don't. It's like I don't know if it'll ever change.
Yeah.
We're just like an old, like when I say old, the
We're
demographic
very
is
much,
just
what's it,
very
tall
much
poppy,
like
crabs in a bucket, whatever.
absolutely.
As well, where
But
it's
even
like,
just like I think Australian living is very chill, very
Yeah.
much like the entertainment space is not big here.
but okay, that's where.
And tall poppy is a huge thing. Like where you said we need to learn
Yeah.
to. The other
Okay.
day, someone asked me to do a hosting gig. I was like, okay, cool. They're like, send me your bio. Wrote my bio. I put the bio in ChatGPT. I said, give me a little bit
Yeah.
more, yeah. I was reading it, and I'm like, I'm like, this is real information. This is true.
Yeah.
Why did I take out
You
like
tear
3
your own
sentences?
self down
Because
so
I'm
that
like,
they won't-
okay, babe, relax. Yeah, we
Yeah.
know you did this, but take it out.
Yeah.
And it's actually like we have
That's
an
wild.
issue with being like I curated, or I was the one that started this thing, and I
That's
grew.
sad.
We can't
Sad.
do that because for us it's like relax.
It's sad.
You're
Yeah.
doing a lot.
Yeah.
We know you did it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like it's just not. Americans will be like, I studied at the University of this. This is the most.
Wear that shit on
that-
their
that-
chest. Yeah.
I'm listening to girls talk on TikTok. They're like, when you apply for jobs in New York, don't say I worked at Commonwealth Bank. Say I worked at Commonwealth Bank, one of Australia's largest.
That's what I'm
Give
saying, it's
me
packaging. It's
you
the way
need to
you
talk
package
about what did you
everything.
do. You know what I mean? Because for other people, they're looking at it as like they want to be impressed, and I think the culture for us is like, you know, like just let us know your experience. We're very relaxed. We're very and I feel like on a day-to-day level when you're meeting people, Aussies have a lot of humility,
Yeah.
and we're very relatable.
Yeah,
and we're just like we're grounded people.
You know, that's why when you look at the content that does well in Australia, just across the board, Sushi Mango, the Italian guys that
Yeah.
Inspired Unemployed.
Yeah.
What's the one with the other one with the Aussie boys? They do like all the pranks and stuff like that, and then even all right.
We're here. You said you
We're
want to
here.
drink, yeah?
We're here. And then even like, cause I don't even want it to be just white guys. Is it Isaac, the one that does the skits, the Aussie skits?
Yep. Yeah. Kills it.
Kills it. But why? Because the content is laid back,
Relatable.
relatable,
Funny.
It's
just-
like
we
that's
wanna
what we want. Almost
laugh.
like that kind of thing. And so it's like that is the market. Now it's like this is where it comes back to our personalities. I can produce some of that stuff, but it's not me fully.
Yeah.
And then I feel like, okay, I don't know if there's a market for me like that in Australia.
Also, I think naturally, because of who we are, like we're looking at content that's happening overseas. Do you know what I mean? You're not looking at local. You're not really looking at local content,
Yeah.
and so
I'm interested in Glorilla's
in-
lines. I'm
yeah,
not interested
Anna
in
Paul and
Bondi
what she's
chicks.
saying. Do you get what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna lie to that. Anna
that
Paul.
was very
Juicy.
spicy. That was spicy.
Juicy.
See, that's
We
the
s-
Aussie content I can eat up because I'm like,
Yeah.
what did she
No
say?
joke. We finished the podcast recording and then we went to a restaurant. It was like me, Daniel, Marwa, and our intern. And the latest thing had just dropped, like someone's response to something. We put that in the middle as we all eat and we just quietly
Yeah,
watch it.
tell me what you because I want this. I want the juice.
It does make
Let me
me
tell you
feel
something.
broke.
When Australians, when Australians go the drama though,
Yeah.
like one thing about Australians, the best Australian, what is it called? The best Australian reality TV show, and this is anywhere across the globe. Maths.
Is that Australian?
No Australian. No one can do maths like Australia.
Interesting.
Because maths was done in the UK. You're boring.
Not it.
Australians, when you go low, they go lower. They go so low. And the content, because we're so nonchalant,
Yeah.
we actually lack decorum. Yeah.
We actually do.
We
the,
lack
the
decorum.
is not there. in
It's
this
low.
country. Yeah.
So the
From prime minister to peasants, no one has it.
no one. Mind you, Noor, I don't watch Australian TV shows, but the maths,
That
when I
one's got
first
you
watched
like
it, I was
this?
like, oh, I've been missing out on
We're
this.
onto something.
I was like, what? I can watch this. That one and then Real Housewives of Melbourne. Unhinged.
Goodness.
Middle-aged Australian women are
Are they like
not
mostly wogs and stuff?
mixed. You've got Aussie
Okay.
Aussies, and they're just like, they don't care. They don't. They know it, and they will tell you they're better than you. Do you know what I mean? They'll look at you.
Yeah.
They'll refer to us as commoners first of all.
Goodness.
You know what I mean? And it's like they actually don't care. They're from Turak. They don't. We're not on your
Life's
level.
different,
Yeah,
yeah.
don't talk to us.
Fair.
And the things they say to each other, it's just so out of pocket.
Happy for them.
And I love it.
I love it.
I love that content because I love when an Australian is an Australian.
Yeah.
You know what I
But
mean?
Maybe that's where we struggle with content is because
We're not.
we're
Australian.
not fully Aussies.
We're not. We're
we're
first
Australian,
gen.
we're not Aussie. You know
We're-
what I
and
mean?
and that there's no appreciation for the
Yeah.
first generation.
Yeah.
we are Australian. We were born and raised here. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Fully.
But like
but
your life is more bunna and stuff than it is coffees.
my mom came to. I was born 1996.
Yeah,
My mom
yeah.
landed in Australia in 1995.
Yeah.
Okay. At home, we were full Ethiopian through and through. I did not know. I was going to primary school pronouncing words wrong. Do you know what I mean?
Do you have any
She
words
set
like
me
that
up.
where you hit like 20
Yes.
something and you're like, yo, I've been saying that shit wrong?
No,
my whole life.
I corrected myself very quickly. I went to a white school. Once we left the flats, I was in Deep Point Cook when it was white. All right. There were things like my mom used to say laundry.
Yeah.
I'm saying to my friends laundry. They're like, what's the laundry? And then they find out, and it's not like they're brutal. They're laughing at you. My sister, the funniest thing, my sister would say. So they'll say biscuit,
yeah.
biscuit, and she says remote,
Okay.
the
Oh,
remote.
yeah.
My sister, she's so dumb actually. Like this is next level. I don't know what's going on with you, sis. She says remote, in school. Like take the accent out at least.
My sister used to say apricot.
Yeah, apricot.
Instead of-
Yeah.
and like she know and everyone just like,
What
"What's
do
wrong
you
with
mean? Oh
Yeah,
my god,
apricot,
this one.
apricot.
My dad, I would electric city. Electric city. Electricity.
Oh. I was like, where is Electric City?
No, that's me. My whole life, I'm electric city, electric city. He's saying electricity. The way I'm talking about electricity, like it's electric city. This man set me up.
My dad.
What are you saying?
My dad still to this day can't say my dad can't say funeral. Furinal? like a urinal, but with an F in front.
My auntie the other day, we were like, yeah, ADHD. What's this HIV?
Oh,
HIV. I'm like,
goodness.
are you okay? You can't say.
Goodness.
And then apparently there was a video on TikTok where I think it was a Habesha girl where she was like to her mom, why are you telling everyone I have HIV? Why are you telling them I have
Goodness.
HIV? It's ADHD. She's
That's it. Marriage prospects finished. Do your parents have any of those phrases that they mock? Like, so for example, like, because they always hear it from young people, they now mock it. Like, my mom's thing, anything with her, she's like, everything, I don't care. I don't know where they learned this. We don't even say I don't care.
I don't
that
even
much.
know. Actually, I have to think about it. But they
Everything
say
I
it's
don't
so
care.
funny when they say things like, my mom's like, yeah, I know it's dragged. I'm like, what? What do you mean it's dragged?
Oh, dragged?
Dragged. It's
Oh my
dragged.
God.
I'm like, what?
That's
And then one thing, the funniest thing was a city girl. We'll be like, oh, I'm getting it. She's like, so long. And I'm like, Mom, I'm a city girl. Don't you get it? And she's like, anyway, city girl. And now she'll be like, yeah,
That's
city
beautiful.
girl. She's city
Oh,
girl.
damn.
You know?
You know what other one's cool though is when you notice that certain phrases are universal. So like, get off my dick.
Yeah.
The other day I'm at my barber's and he's Lebanese, 40-something-year-old man, yeah. And some person calls him trying to like book a spot, whatever. And this guy gets like, he's like, because like, you know, you call, you put your name on the board, whatever. And he's like telling her, he's like, yo, like I'm booked out and the other barbers are booked out, whatever, whatnot. And then he's like, he gets off and he's like, bro, these white people, like they just don't understand like how, like I'm telling you, like I don't have space for you, but you still want me to put your name on the board, whatever. And then in Arabic, he just goes like, he word for word goes like,
in Arabic, get off my dick.
And I was like, in my head, I just went,
That would
oh
kill
my God,
me.
this is universal. Like everybody says this.
That's crazy. I don't know about anything like that except for, no, I don't know anything like that.
Yeah,
No.
fair.
Anyways, let's So we're gonna move on to the bitter or sweet segment.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna give you two scenarios. You know
Yeah.
how this works. Let me
Yeah.
give you a paddle.
Yes, please.
So you understand how bitter or sweet works. Basically, bitter meaning you disagree and sweet meaning you agree.
Yeah.
First one, dining out alone. Bitter or sweet? What? No, do it. Do what you were gonna say. Don't.
My answer, yeah?
Yeah, your
bitter,
answer.
Bitter for me. Bitter for me.
Why?
I love being around people. I'm very extroverted. Like, I love it. Like,
Are you extrovert?
like you know, the highlight of my day is going to be I hung out with Wintana. Like, that's how,
Really?
yeah. Like,
Okay,
it's
I
like,
get you.
It's not like, the highlight of my day is not going to be when I get home and I get to just relax.
Do you always feel energized? Because sometimes when I
Always.
leave people, I'm just like, that was a lot. Like I can leave a situation and then my phone, I got like a missed call. I love driving and calling
Yeah,
someone, you know,
okay.
calling them
Yeah,
back
yeah,
and
yeah,
having
yeah.
conversation. But sometimes I leave something and I was like, that was just meant, I need to recoup. I need to be alone right
Don't
now.
happen to me.
No?
Not very often. As long as I like the people that I was with, best time of my life.
I'm going to say sweet. I'm going to say sweet because once you experience going out alone,
Yeah.
it's a game changer.
Okay, now there is one thing that I like about it that it's like there is a confidence required to go and
Be alone. Yeah.
be alone.
Yeah.
Right? And that I kind of rate it. I've done it once or twice here, but like, I don't like it can only happen at a restaurant where the bill is like gonna be less than $30. I
Okay,
can't
like
go
there's an
anywhere nice
aesthetic.
by
There's a
myself.
nice.
Come
Okay, I feel like I can do $50.
Damn.
$50. I can't
Gotta
do.
like
I can
that.
do movies. I can do like if I had
In
to.
this economy,
I'm
that's
like
like
add it to
somewhere,
the
I don't
bill.
know.
What do you mean? When I go to the like, I went to a cafe because I'm a cafe girl.
Yeah,
I
I
like to
noticed
go
this, yeah.
to the cafe. I've got a lot of life admin.
Makes
It's
you
actually
feel
not
productive,
normal.
doesn't it?
I go. I am, but I'm more productive. I'm actually more productive because I'm just romantic. This is why I feel
Yeah.
like I will thrive in another country. So I just go there. I order. Why is my little breakfast like sandwich and a coffee costing me $20?
Yeah, no, the economy's it's actually
It's crazy. We're dying out here.
I'm gonna start selling my ass, bro.
What do you
I'm done.
My feet at least. My
Go
feet
for
at
it.
least.
Go for it.
Anyways, we'll see.
Yeah.
We might get there. But for me, we might get there. For me, it's sweet because I'll go to the movies alone. I
I've
can
done
do that.
That was actually really nice.
Yeah, I can do
was
that.
nice.
I can't go to a club or a concert on my own.
I've been to a concert by myself once, but I really liked the artist. This was years ago as well.
How was that?
Enjoyed it heaps. Obviously, would have enjoyed it more with someone. Club alone feels dirty.
Yeah.
I feel like, to be honest,
It's
as a
kind of like
girl,
who
it's
did you?
almost unsafe.
Who did you? No. Okay, there's levels to it. The only time I could go to a club alone is if I know people that I know are going to be there.
yeah.
Not the people, but even that sucks because it's like now I'm at your hip.
I'm almost begging you to hang out.
You know
with
what I
me
mean?
and,
I'm
hey,
not a beg.
Guys, do you want to have shots?
You know what I mean? Like, oh my god, let's like, should I just come with you? You guys all go to the bathroom. I'll come too. No, ew.
Yeah, that's pretty yuck. Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
But if I know them enough, and maybe if I know another group enough to be there that I can kind of be jumping,
I
but then
hear
it's
it.
like, oh yeah, I'm gonna head out.
Yeah.
Heading out on your own.
your-
Look, I've done it where I've known people in the
Yeah.
place. Like I've seen people. I'm like, okay, my good friends are there, but they're like, it's like if you were there.
Yeah,
Like we're
damn,
not
so I'm not
immediate
good
same
friends.
group.
Alright, it's fine.
No, Noor, think about it like
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
Are we going to be like Noor, Wintana? I'm going to the club tonight. Come with me.
In my ideal life, yes.
But we haven't done that.
Alright,
We haven't done that.
Do you
Because
remember that
usually-
one time we hung out after something? That's still one of the highlights of my life.
Which one?
Me, you, Carlos, and one of your friends went to
Oh
the
my god,
rooftop.
yes.
That was
But
so
we
much fun.
met at the
Yeah,
club.
yeah,
we
yeah,
met at the
yeah.
venue.
Yeah.
Like when has there been a time where I'm like, oh maybe no, we left another event and we're like, should we go to this next place
Yeah.
together?
Yeah.
And we decided not to go.
Yeah.
But we've never been like, no, I'm heading out to Rhythm tonight. Come through, let's go. Just me and you.
Should we change that?
We can.
Okay.
I'm down. We're
Let's
already
have- let's
friends.
have-
The,
okay.
the ice is already broken. The
I mean, to
door's
be honest,
open, Noor.
People don't know this, but at some point, me and you are going to New York to do content. So
Inshallah. Listen,
inshallah.
I'm waiting on Noor.
That's
Let me
it.
just tell you, I'm waiting on this guy
That's it.
to make the plan because
We'll
I'm
make-
gonna be there.
I'm
Catch me
hopefully
there.
gonna be there
I'm
too.
gonna be there. Yep. So you guys will see. If you see us on a podcast in the States,
in terms of dining out, it's bitter for me because I don't enjoy it, and I think for me it just reminds me that I was alone for lunch or dinner. That's what it reminds me of.
I'm not thinking about. See me, I'm thinking, wow, I am
I'm
so
so rich, I can take
wholesome.
myself
Not
out.
even that.
Okay.
Not even rich. Like I'm actually above all you bitches. Like you guys need company. Me, I love my own company.
Yeah, and then
I'm
you're just on
above
your
all
phone
of
the
you.
whole
Yeah, I'm on my phone. Whatever I'm doing, I ate on my own that day. I
Yeah,
had time to think.
Yeah.
I had brain time. What did you do? You scrolled on social media while you were sitting next to people, rotting.
Yeah.
So
Worthless.
I'm better than all of you, basically.
fair.
I'm better than you. Okay, next one is we all need bitter or sweet. We all need to start settling down and get out of the streets.
I think so. I think that that's a sweet. Yeah, I'm.
Do you know what? Okay, no,
I'm not a fan of
do
the
you know what? I'm
streets
being
in general.
controversial
Okay.
because honestly, when the streets are
fun.
fun, the streets are fun.
You're right.
The streets
You're
are
right.
the streets, but then after a while,
Remember
it's
that
like
conversation once where you were like, "I just love to flirt." Can we say this? Like, do you want this out there or not?
we can say it.
He was like, "I love to flirt," and I was like, "I get it. Like, it is fun. Like, it actually."
Yeah,
is
but
fun.
then after a while, it's like, what are we doing now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think as a society, as a culture, let's get out of the streets. I'm gonna say
Yeah.
sweet.
I
We need to
think
get out.
Ultimately,
Like you need to know when it's time to pack it
that's
up.
the thing, because the streets and all that kind of stuff, yeah, it's fun for a period of time, whatnot, but it's like you're not taking into account the time that's taken away from you getting to the ultimate
The
destination.
streets are not end game. Like
And that's
the streets
thing,
are not.
but they have the
end.
potential to derail.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
And if you
so
need to know
that's
yourself.
why it's like getting out is sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as a culture, we need
Yeah.
to pack it up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
let's be like, all right, guys, at a certain point, it's time. Sorry, this is my camera. At a certain point, let's get serious.
Yeah,
I agree
100.
with that. So that's why I'm going to say it's sweet.
Yeah. I agree.
But I do understand for the people that are just you're newly
You're
single,
young. You're newly
you are
single.
young,
Yeah. You
you're
need
trying to be
talk
outside.
to people. Yeah. Yeah.
Go have your fun.
Rhythms for you.
Rhythm, shout out Rhythm.
Yeah.
I want to get Rhythm on here. I want to get the whole
It's
crew.
needed. Yeah. That'll be fun.
They're a fun crowd.
That'll be fun.
Okay, should we move into the? We'll just do the dilemma. It's a quick one.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Dilemma is travel the world or save for a house. I'm 27 years old and all I want to do right now is travel. I want to experience new places, meet new people, and just enjoy life while I'm young. But then there's the responsible voice in my head, and let's be real, my parents, telling me I should be saving for a house instead. With the way the housing market is going, I feel like if I don't start now, I'll never be able to afford it. But at the same time, I don't want to put off living my life to sit on savings for something that might not even be worth it later. Should I be practical and save, or should I book the flight and figure out the rest later?
That's tough. And old me would have been like a no-brainer, buy the house.
Yep.
This me, that's tough. Because it also depends how much you want to travel. Because like, a part of me goes, why can't both happen?
Let's say you have 40K in savings.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so this is where like,
let's
in
like
this
talk
economy,
about what do you have right now?
you're not touching the guts of a house. Like as in like you're nowhere near a house with $40,000.
Yeah.
Right?
No, but let's say like for a startup, you want to put, you know how people talk about you can put 5%, you can do this, you will struggle, but
Yeah,
like
but it's
you've
like-
got enough.
Put it this
to,
way, like what's the average house price? 850,000.
Yeah.
Call 900,000.
depending where though,
No, but,
because
like,
some people
anywhere.
will like,
Okay,
in the,
like if you go, like,
if you
Melton
go
and-
west or deep
Yeah,
west,
yeah,
Chugga,
yeah.
even Chugganina Tani, sometimes
Yeah.
you will find something for
40K
five.
is like 10%.
Yeah, you will find 500. You'll find 600. Like it really depends where you are.
In that this is so tough. Like it's I can't give a direct answer because it's like such a specific thing. It's like I need to know financial situation, all that stuff. But it's like in general, I'm like,
I feel like we can assume that this person either wants to travel,
Yeah.
so they either want to travel,
Like,
or
it's either
so they've
this or
got
either
they've
that.
got just enough to buy
Yeah.
something and not enough to travel.
I would say what's gonna be more attainable 5 years from now, the house or the travel, or not even 5 years, 2 years from now.
I will say this.
Okay, go.
I think your experiences traveling in your younger years is going to be
Elite.
completely
Elite.
different.
Yes.
Completely
Yes.
different to when you are in your 30s.
Yep.
It's going to be different. And it
You're a
really
different
and
person.
it comes down to what you value at the end of the day. Also, and this is what like I feel like I'm in this stage too. Like there's not enough education in our community in regards to buying property,
Yes.
what kind of property,
Yeah.
stocks. What are other ways that you can, if you're seriously interested in investing, right, or
Mm-hmm.
like creating some sort of wealth for yourself, I think you need to start researching other avenues that might be more
Oh my
available
days.
to you.
So this is something that I've learned sort of the hard way, where it's like, don't invest in anything that you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds very simple, but all of us just go, the natural step is
House,
property.
because that's what we've been told. Though I don't
because
blame
our
you.
parents, like that's
tell
all
us.
they know,
Boom,
right?
yeah.
But it's like, even as it sounds dumb, but it's like stocks and things like that, right? Like, I made this stupid mistake once where I bought stocks in like a milk company, A2 Milk.
Yeah.
Right? It sounds so dumb, but it's
Yeah.
like, follow me. Bought stocks in A2 Milk. What the hell do I know about milk? Now, when
What
I
do you-
tell
well,
you,
why did you do it though?
because I had money and I was like, oh, this is going up. Let me
Okay.
just buy it.
Okay.
And
Fair.
it's tanked since then, right? Like
Yeah.
it's like, put it this way, I bought them at like I think $20 of a share, and now they're like $5 a share. Like that's ass.
I did
right?
that with a coin.
Yeah,
with
crypto and all that.
it was crypto. It was
Yeah.
blew up. My money doubled.
And you get gas.
And I was like,
I'm leaving it there
I
for my
can't believe this.
for my children's
No.
children.
How did my money? It doubled. I had thousands in. It was like I was chilling, and then within a month, it just plummeted.
Yeah,
And
so,
it was
So what I'm saying is like, but if you invest in things that you understand, you're able to kind of gauge
Yeah.
trajectory and things like that. Same thing when it comes to buying property. It's like, don't buy property in an area you don't know.
yeah.
Don't buy like if all you've ever done is live in I don't know, houses, maybe you won't understand apartment market, things like that, right? You kind of have to be kind of aware of these things. And that's where it's like, you're right. Like maybe certain things of going like, okay, I understand, learning to understand new things so that I can make the best
Yeah.
investment decisions. That's actually the healthiest thing. And
And
yeah,
if you're seriously
it's tough.
interested,
Yeah.
so for example, this studio is
Yeah.
a warehouse,
Yeah.
right? I only understood the value in investing in a warehouse once I was in
After
one.
you rented
my
one, yeah.
my family don't know about this,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. Like we like
Yeah.
our family's word is law, or
Yeah.
it's gold. Like, oh, my
Oh
dad
my
knows he's
days.
done this,
Yeah.
he's successfully. But like also they knew what they knew. They were trying to figure it out. They actually don't know much, right?
Yeah.
That's not their fault, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
Only now that I'm in a commercial property do I see more value in investing in commercial than residential.
Yeah.
And because of all the things that I've gone through,
Yeah.
that I'm like, even if I was to take another 2 years off investing, I know I can easily enter this market. And it's it's different. Don't get me wrong. I don't know much. I don't know, no, not much, but I wouldn't say I know everything about it.
But you know
But I
enough.
know that it's more accessible than housing and less risk than it is to go into residential.
Fair.
Right?
Yeah.
No financial expert. But what I'm saying is, since I've like figured out, like being in this space, I've realized, okay, there's more. And that has made me go and research more. Like, I'm
That's
looking now,
important,
okay, cool, warehouse is another thing. What I'm trying to say is, the housing market is always going to be there.
Yes. Okay.
These things are always going to be there, and there are lower entries, like lower what's the word that I'm trying to use? Lower like entry points,
Barriers
to entry. If you just do your research, but
Okay.
we just think like, oh,
Yeah.
housing is the only
Yes,
houses are
that's the
going up.
only
Da, da,
option,
da,
or
da.
else
So I
the
think
generational wealth
do
only
your
comes through houses.
no, actually no, that's like
Bro,
incorrect.
Not that shit
Incorrect.
is debt.
Yep.
Debt, like through and through.
Yeah, I just think like traveling, like these experiences, life is fleeting. You will never get it back. I think
It's
go
not
travel.
just that. I think you have to look at it kind of flip side. And I think now I have my answer on this. Traveling is an investment in yourself.
You never know what's gonna happen.
No joke. I'm super privileged. It was hard how much we moved around as kids, but I'm privileged in how much travel happened because of that, right?
Yeah.
So it's like moving place to place. Like there are things that I just take for granted where I'm like, I grew up like funny enough, the other day I was flipping through my yearbook from my childhood, year 4, year 5,
that,
whatever,
yeah.
right? And I didn't realize this at the time, but in every single class, not just my class, every single class, there was white kids, Arab kids, black kids, Asian kids, Pakistani kids, Jamaican kids. It's like everything, right? And I'm just like, that was my experience growing up. And so I became so aware of so many cultures, right? Like, I mean, this sounds silly, but it's like, I grew up in year 7, one of my favorite artists was Gigs. That sounds so crazy considering how many people found out about Gigs, but that just tells you about the people that I was around, the cultures that I was around, all this kind of stuff.
You're
right?
also more open-minded, like
So yeah, ultimately you become so much more open-minded where I'm like, yeah, well, my closest friends growing up were Pakistani Muslim, Jamaican Rastafari, one of them, right?
Crazy.
Nigerian Christians were our neighbors across the road, Lebanese Muslims on the right, Irish couple, Irish Filipino couples from. So it's like even from that age, I'm seeing like interracial couples and this and that, and it's like that is what travel afforded me at such an early age.
Yeah.
But it's like even as I've gotten older and traveled, it's like the amount of just this is where you've got to travel smart. It can't just be haps, right? Like it's haps, it's all of it's haps, but it's like it's got to be like
Sometimes it's haps,
traveling with curiosity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
But
even
I feel like for someone who is like this person,
Yeah.
for someone who's like, where should I go?
Yeah.
There's more to it than just, I just want to be outside. I just want to be traveling. You know what I mean?
No, they sound like an intelligent person.
Yeah.
They're clearly achieving something to have enough money to go house or travel, right? But I do think travel is the and you're right. The housing market's always going to be there. Might be more expensive, might not be.
But also, like,
Shit might
if
crash,
you're
like-
serious about it, research.
You-
Like, what are some
exactly.
other things you can do?
But that
And,
travel
yeah.
is gonna then even probably inform the way you purchase a house
Yeah.
later on, right? And you'll be grateful for that.
Or you might
regardless.
meet someone while you're traveling.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You
And
might
do what?
you might meet the love. You might meet the love of your life.
You, the house.
You might
Come
meet
on.
the love of your life, and you move somewhere else.
I love that.
Sister, I'm with
Hey,
you. You know what I
inshallah,
mean?
why not?
Do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
I think travel. Personally, I'm gonna say travel just because I love traveling.
Yeah.
And I feel like my experiences traveling every single time have.
It's
I've
the
either
best.
come
It's
back
the
with
best.
something
Yeah.
or I've started something because of it. And I just think that you traveling at a later age when you have children and you have this, it's going to be beautiful, but that's going to be a separate experience. It's going to be a separate experience. And I feel like my travel in my 20s, you can't touch that.
It's what's it called? Like a canon event in your life. You know what I mean? Like it's a core memory. It has formed who
It's
you
a
are.
core, literally
It's- yeah.
every single time.
it.
I have a really good friend who Going to London, yeah.
Yeah.
Back when I was 22,
Yeah.
I will say this, one of my closest friends now is someone I met in that trip who now lives, she was from California. She's from the Bay Area. She lives in America. We've linked up.
Is this someone that you linked up with in Ethiopia?
No, she wasn't in Ethiopia. The girl from Ethiopia is from here.
Right.
Like we kind of grew up together. The one in America, Mahalet, when I tell you we have maybe like 1 or 2 times a week, we'll have like 2-hour conversations
Oh,
on the
wow.
phone. Where like I would consider her one of my closest friends.
Wow.
And that is because I met her on a random trip when we just kept it going and we just clicked.
cool.
When I went to New York, the last time I was in New York, I was staying with her the whole
Yeah,
time.
oh, wow.
Do you know what I mean? I'm going back now.
That's
I'm going to be with
beautiful.
her.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you just you'll meet like best friends. You'll meet people that you just like sisters or who knows? But I just feel like that Bittersweet was born out of
London,
me coming back from that trip. I just feel like, especially at an age where you're young and you're open, anything can happen. Why?
Why not?
Why take it away because you want to buy a house?
Yeah.
I've heard horror stories. Even though I'm for like being financially
the,
secure
the ownership
and having
all that, it is cool, but it'll
happen. I think
Yeah.
if that is something that you desire, it will come.
yeah. If this person has traveled already, like I'm assuming here they haven't really traveled as much as they'd like to. But if they have done some, then I would say maybe then.
Yeah, I think
shift.
there's a time where you're
Yeah.
like, okay, look, I need to be a
Same
bit more
thing, like getting out the
responsible.
streets, essentially. You know what I
I
mean?
need to be a bit more responsible.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing. If
Yeah.
you haven't traveled and you're like, oh, I would love to see this and this and this before,
You know,
I think go.
Yeah, there's someone pretty dear to me that like didn't travel before they like got married and all this kind of stuff and whatnot. And every time I travel, I think of this person because I'm just like, oh, I wish you would have experienced more of this kind of
Yeah.
stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just like, yeah, there's this element of me like that goes like, oh, I wish you would have like, because I know how much you would have loved it. You know, it's like I
Yeah.
wish you would have gone here and done this and done that and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, but you haven't, and now it's like
I have a
it's
close
bit
friend like that
too
too.
late.
It's
you know,
it's
so to
more
speak.
like you've got other responsibilities.
Exactly,
I've got a
like
friend.
children and this. I'm always trying to toe the balance between the two.
Yeah.
Like, because I really do family. I really do value family,
Same.
and like it's something to me that like I know is just gonna be incredible. But I really do value experiences and all this kind of. And I then that's where I'm also
Can
like,
you see a life without kids?
no,
Yeah.
impossible,
Fair.
impossible. Have I told you one of my like, if there was no consequences in life, if I didn't believe, you know, like if I didn't choose to follow Jesus for the way that I lead my life and all this kind of stuff, like my dream would be to have a child with. It sounds so crazy.
What?
A woman of every like racial.
You're actually crazy.
Just to see what
You're
my
actually
see what my
crazy.
combinations
No.
produce.
You're not normal.
Bro, I'm telling you, this
You're
is
like Akon.
Okay, Akon City was built just for his children.
Shut up. No.
Like just the thought of like, okay, every ethnicity there's a Noor version. Like that sounds like the
No,
greatest
it's giving
experiment.
like I'm just curious.
I am.
There's
I am
nothing.
curious.
There's nothing about
Obviously,
I
I
want a
know-
child. It's just I want to know what
Nah.
I look like with an Indian and an African and then Iraqi and then like a white
That's
woman.
the one.
You're
That's
crazy.
the one. And then all of them are sensational.
Crazy.
Sensa-
Then we just have little
But-
Noors running
but-
around.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's
It's giving
that's
like a Rick and Morty episode of just like a whole nation
But no,
of
for
Noor's
real,
kids.
like, I think in terms of can I see a life without children? No, like I genuinely can't. Like, and God willing, like that's part of my future and stuff. But it's like, for me, I've said I think I'm the weirdest person in that I've known since I was 16 that I want to be a dad. Like I've known, like not even like I want to be a dad for the sake of having kids. Like I love
want
the
to
idea
be a
of
father.
fathering. You know, like actually the idea of molding these young people and being there for them and then creating a safe space for their friends. Like I knew this at that age that I want to do this. And
This
for
is
me,
like-
like 6 kids would be like a dream. I know like obviously that's a discussion to be had and all this kind of stuff with partner and like we said at the start of the episode, like that's you know the amount of labor that's involved in that on the woman's end and stuff. But it's like for me just like building a big home. And I think that comes from my parents only had 2. And I was talking to my dad about it. And he was like, you can always, like, this I guess maybe faith involved here and whatnot, but it's like, he's like, God will provide for the more that you have. It may look different, right?
Yeah.
It may look a little harder, it may look whatever, but it's like, somehow, like, God will provide, and you as a man will like, that instinct will provide as well, right? But he's like, but as time goes on, you can never change your mind if you didn't have more.
Interesting.
Right. And so like him, as me and my sister grew up and we moved out the house and all this kind of stuff, or like as in moved out or less dependent on them, like he always goes like, I wish this dining table was full. because I think he wants.
So
someone to
they want
depend.
grandchildren. They're like
Or-
excited
yeah,
for that,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
Or like having more kids
Yeah,
and
like
things like that,
literally,
yeah.
like so that I think that's where I get that, where I'm like, I think
You want a big
I
family.
really want that.
Oh my god. Anyways. Well, I feel like we've gone everywhere.
Yeah.
Listen, like
This is fun.
this was so much fun, Noor. You have to come back for a part 2.
Oh my gosh! On this travel thing.
Yeah.
My whole thing about like taking a bunch of us somewhere, we have to make that happen.
Oh yeah. Noor
Like,
has been talking about
I'm
all of us
taking-
packing it,
yeah,
getting together,
yep.
plan it.
20,
You gotta
30
put the
people
document
from
together, and we're
Melbourne
gonna
that I
go.
love. Please.
Let's go.
Please. Either Mexico, Brazil,
Yep.
one of them.
We have to have a combination of singles and couples because
Okay.
boring.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
And if there's not enough, we'll make some of the couples singles. What?
Uh,
Just like.
I mean, we'll know who's gonna fold or not. This is Love Island. Maps.
On
Maps.
your arrival in Brazil, you're getting
Yeah,
paired up.
what's happening? This is crazy. I feel like there'll be drama.
That's-
On that note, guys, if you have dilemmas you want to send through to the podcast, make sure you do so by sending them through all the links in our bios on socials. Thank you so much, Noor, for jumping on.
Thank you for having me. This is actually so much fun. Like
You have to come around for part 2. I
Yeah,
think we have
yeah,
you.
yeah,
You
yeah.
are my season guest. Every now and then,
I'm
people are just
so
going to be
down
like,
for this.
who is he? Like a temporary co-host.
I'm so down. For
This makes sense.
I love this.
New York?
Do you know how much
Noor
I
and
listen?
Witana?
Like
Noor and Witana in New York,
we
though.
need to make it happen.
Guys, you
it makes
know,
it
all
makes
you know-
no sense for me to love this show this much, but it's
And
like
not
I'll
come
be,
on.
no, like as in niche wise, it's like black woman.
Yeah,
right? But it's like
Noor,
I'll be
what's
listening
going
to
on?
like Nasa Lipia talk about it, and she's like, you know, as black women,
Noor's like taking notes.
Extra
But you
productive.
date black women, Noor. So it's like
Okay,
you're
hold
just
up.
taking
But
notes.
she's like, we got to be extra productive, and I'm just like, facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
You're understanding
I
your
do,
girl
I do,
even
yeah,
more in
yeah,
more
I do,
detail.
I
You're
do,
understanding her. You're like, I know you now.
That's the thing. Yeah.
This is what Bittersweet's providing for you.
That's it,
This
come on.
makes me feel
Community
the fact that
education?
outside of black women, there are men that
There
are
are
outside
Arab
of
men that love
Arab
this?
men that are
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
I
for
feel
sure.
confident in
Yeah,
what I'm
for sure.
doing. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Absolutely.
Where can the people find you?
At the Gabriel, on every platform, and the Disruption Podcast.
The Disruption
Make sure you
Podcast.
tune in. We've got
One of
exciting
my
stuff coming.
favorites,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you.
Listen, you know, as per usual, I'm going to put it all in the show notes. I want to say thank you guys. I love you so much. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, do all the things, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.
Peace out.